Hi everyone, my name is Matt and welcome to my first ever YouTube video. So what do? I'm a designer and maker based in Antwerp, and I want to start documenting my journey and bring you guys along. My first video is gonna be about my camera rig, the one I'm building currently. I'm in the middle of the process because in the past I always struggled immensely with my camera setup because I was just using this little thingamajig here to set up my phone. And the first part is actually gonna be a ball head that I'm gonna design for my tripod, the one that I'm using right now, because it's currently missing that. And I need a way to tilt down my camera, for example, when I'm working on the table, and just in general to have a little bit more freedom of where I put my camera. The second part is gonna be a modification of a phone mount. It's not my own design, but I'm gonna modify it a little bit so I can put actually some LED light panels and also the microphone that I'm holding on directly on the camera. So I have like a whole contained setup which I can move around and just get a shot when I need it. So because the ball head is radially symmetrical, the easiest way to create the body was by simply sketching the side profile of it and extruding it around the central axis. The only thing that had to be done was to create the locking mechanism, which I did by adding a screw hole from the bottom half of the main body, and it just houses a nut and a little protection plate that pushes into the ball when you screw the screw in, and that just locks everything in place. It's not the best solution, but for what I needed, it's definitely good enough. And once everything was printed out, I sanded and cut some of the corners with my X-Acto knife, and I pushed the two ball halves together using the connection pin. And I actually didn't use any glue on that because the fit was actually quite tight and the two ball halves will be pressed together by the main body anyways. Before I put everything together, I pressed in the nut and the friction plate into the lower half of the body, and then I clamped everything together using 7M3 bolts. And I didn't use any heat inserts because a screw that's going directly into plastic, if you don't unscrew it and screw it a bunch of times, it's actually a much stronger connection than having a heat insert. For the mounting point to the tripod, I actually did use a heat insert because it's just a more reliable way of screwing and unscrewing it a bunch of times, and it's just gonna hold up a lot longer and it looks quite nice. I actually just used a lighter for that part because at this point I didn't remember that I had a soldering iron on hand, but it seems to work fine. The only piece of hardware that I had to buy was this 1/4-inch screw that's connecting the mounting plate to the camera itself, or in my case the phone clamp. The hole in the top of the mounting plate is quite undersized. I designed it that way so the screw basically stays permanently in place. It's able to twist, but it's just not gonna fall out if there's nothing on there. And once everything was glued together, I just did a quick test and put it on my tripod with the old phone clamp that I had and also an old phone that I have laying around. And I shook it around violently and it seemed to hold up pretty fine. So I designed this little plate that houses 6 threaded inserts to glue in front of the phone mount. And this plate acts like a modular base to attach different accessories to the phone mount itself, so I can mix and match different setups in the future depending on what I needed to do. And at first I designed a little extension arm with a cold shoe mount on top of it, and that's basically to mount my little LED panels or my microphone on top of it. And once that's done, I can just simply screw that plate in front of it, but it's not permanent, and whenever I feel like I need to change some of it, I can just swap it out for a different type of mount. Alright, the camera setup is pretty much complete. The only thing that I did off camera was I modified the microphone that I'm using, because the old one was just simply too big, so I scaled down the housing a little bit. I added this cold shoe mount so I could just simply put it on the side of the lights, and I'm gonna put it on and see how it looks. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, I see you guys in the next one. Bye. And please subscribe.